कि मैं यहाँ पर ही पैदा हुआ था, यहीं पर बड़ा हुआ हूँ, इसलिए मेरे को इस देश में इंटरेस्ट है। मैं सोचता हूँ कि ये लोग मेरे लिए जो भी करेंगे वो ठीक करेंगे। अभी भी जब मैं आया हूँ, इस समय में आया संजय के साथ इसीलिए कि उसने कहा, डैड यू शुड कम and see if something can be done. Can the people listen to you that you have lost your wife and you have some faith in the justice system? So I said, okay, I will come, because otherwise it's too much for me at the age of 82 to travel for 15 hours continuously. So I came here just to say that something should be done for it. एंड मेरे को विश्वास है कि शायद कुछ होगा। आज वहाँ जज साहब वगैरह की भी सुनवाई हुई एंड देखते हैं होता क्या है।
My name is Sanjay Goel. I'm here from Vancouver, Canada. I'm born and raised in Canada, and with me is my father, Dr. Southern Kumar Goel, who is now in his 80s, came to Canada in 1963, so a long time ago. And, frankly, for the last 16 years plus, we've been coming back and forth to deal with this horrible tragedy that represents the brutal murder of my mother, Dr. Asha Goel. In that time, my poor father has had to be on his own. He lost his partner, his wife, our mother, myself, and my two younger sisters. And the whole matter has literally destroyed our family and the extended family. Today, we were here for the hearing of 11 separate pretrial motions and petitions from the defense, who have, over the many years, searched through every technical component of the prosecution's case to just inevitably delay the matter. And as they say, justice delayed is justice denied. Many of these petitions, and I would also like to commend the Indian judicial system, that in an effort to give everyone a voice, not just the victims, but the accused, the defendants, that they allow for such a fulsome process. But unfortunately, that process gets abused, and the poor judges and the system is overwhelmed with the types of things, like, as an example, what we saw today. One of the pleadings from the defendants, and one of the suggestions, which, frankly, I started laughing in court. The judge admonished me because I couldn't help but laughing, was the suggestion that the Mumbai crime unit officer who accompanied and physically took forensic materials to Canada for testing, that he somehow managed to compromise the integrity and ethics of the Ontario Forensic Science Laboratory, the province of Ontario, and the government of Canada. I mean, frankly, it was laughable. And I couldn't help but laugh. I did get admonished by the judge. Judge, if you're watching this, please accept my apologies. It wasn't my intention to disrespect the court. We're simple people. I run a travel agency. My dad's a doctor. My mom was a doctor. My one sister is a professor of law. We're regular folks. We've always believed and put faith in the system. The delay is nothing short of monumental when you consider that the police have scientific evidence and a confession. It makes no sense that we still haven't gone to trial after 16 years. I'm hopeful that today was the beginning of the closure of the delay, and that we will go forward rapidly. My dad's in his 80s. I absolutely pledge that we get to trial while he's still able to come here and travel accordingly.
And I would like you to tell me something about your mom, like her work in Canada.
Mom when she came to Canada, she was only, was it 21, Dad, or 22?
22, 23.
At 22 years old. And at that time, to the best of my knowledge, she was the youngest obstetrician in Canadian history. She was the youngest doctor to do what she did. She was dedicated to women. She was dedicated to women's health. She delivered, by our count, about 10,000 or more than 10,000 children in Canada, 50,000 surgical procedures, was a champion of women and women's issues throughout her career. It's a great loss, not just to our family, but to the community of Orangeville, where she was head of the Department of Obstetrics and Gynecology at Headwaters Health Center at the time of the murder.
So, what do you think, why Canadian government is not supporting you in this case? Why it's been like, what do you think the reason behind the discrimination of the Canadian government?
In the beginning, the Canadian government was absolutely very much involved. I don't have a good answer for why they're not actively involved today. My mom spent twice as many years in Canada than she did in India. She was a Canadian through and through. She championed Canadian issues. She was there for Canadians, both when she was practicing in Saskatchewan, where I grew up, and the last 20 plus years when she was practicing in Orangeville, Ontario. I hope the Canadians will apply their best efforts as we move towards the trial to see that it's a speedy and fair trial.
In 2017, Narendra Goyal was discharged and he was like main accused. What do you think? Like, it was a major setback for you?
Well, it was just one of many setbacks. I mean, it took us 2 years to correct what was an obvious, completely unbelievable error in judgment on the as it relates to the law by the presiding judge at that time. The presiding judge essentially took it upon herself to decide on matters that are held for trial. Now, thankfully, through the appeal process, which went all the way to Supreme Court of India, we were able to win that and have those charges reinstated. But unfortunately, that type of thing has plagued this case for many, many years.
In the investigation going on, they also accused deceased own brothers of murdering her. How do you think it's like? How do you think about it? What do you think about it?
All we can do as a family is listen to and believe the police. We would rather. Dad never wanted to accept the idea that a brother would kill a sister. After all, we have ceremonies like Raksha Bandhan and Bhai Dooj, etc., to celebrate the love between a brother and a sister. But the police told us way back on September 2nd, 2003, Dr. Satyapal Singh came to us and said, "We've cracked the case. It was the two brothers and employees of them from Little Lodge." It's terrible. It's the worst of all answers that family was involved, but we have to put our trust in the police and their investigation, and they tell us that's what's happened.
My next question is, if the Subhash Agarwal is found guilty by the court, do you think Canadian government will help him sent back to India for the justice?
Anything as it relates to Subhash is a wanted accused in the matter. He's not going to be on trial. It will be handled separately, but it requires the Indian government to begin an extradition type of process should they want him to come back and face justice accordingly and appropriately here in India. So the ball's in India's court at the moment.